The Durban leg of the Spar Women's Challenge race achieved a major milestone this year when it turned 30. The first event back in 1990 attracted a few hundred runners, but this year 15,000 ladies lined up close to Kings Park and the Moses Mabhida Soccer Stadium. The field this year was one of the strongest ever, with top athletes coming from all over Africa. Among them was one of the best-known Durban runners, Janine Carey, who was about to run her 29th Spar Durban race. We visited her at her home in Durban North.
I started when I was about 9 years old. I think that was about 1981. And I was in senior primary school. And they just held a race for the entire school. Everybody had to take part. And I didn't realize I could run. I came 7th in the entire school. And that's when my mum said to me, I think you need to be a runner. And it took a couple of years to encourage me because I did a lot of dancing, a lot of ballet dancing. And between dancing, I started competing at school and literally competed all the way through school. And then when I left school and could no longer dance just because of time being an issue, running was my full-time thing. At school, it was more track because you did the shorter distances. Then it became cross-country. I did that all the way through school. Cross-country was definitely more my thing compared to track. And then I think, when you're at school, road running is not such a huge thing because the distance is just too long. So a little bit of extra distance came after school. Still did a little bit of track from time to time, but definitely it's a little bit too quick for my kind of style. My best running year was 1995. So I did all my PBs of the 3 different distances, 10, 15 and 21 were all done in that year. My 10K PB was actually at the Durban Spar event where I came 3rd. It was my best position, and I did a 36:42. The Spar Grand Prix has really been great. That again has really got me inspired. Just having that opportunity it's almost like doing a little SA Champs every couple of weeks when the season's on. It really does. I always say I don't really need races to get me to train, which is true. I love training too, but when you've got something that you're training for and something on that sort of level, it's really very, very motivating. Tomorrow being the 30th Spar in Durban, I actually think I've done all but one of them. I actually can't believe it's already been 30 years, but it's really special to have tomorrow being the 30th Spar race as being held in Durban.
Janine runs her own skincare business from her home.
My day is actually very long. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, sort out the birds and the chickens, take the dogs for a walk. That happens at 4:30. And after that is training. So I generally start training around 5:15, done by about 6:30, and then it's a bit of admin to get ready for my work day. And actually seeing clients begins at 8 o'clock, and that goes through until at least 6 o'clock in the evening. So it's a very full day. There's not a very large window between finishing clients and actually sleeping. It's generally about 2 hours. I probably sleep the same amount of time that normal people sleep. It just starts a lot earlier and finishes a lot earlier. I used to race most weekends. I do if I can, but I don't know, I just seem to get busier and busier with time. But it doesn't matter if it's an important event or not important event, I just love to race. I run for fun, I run competitively and I run for fun. The other thing that I do for fun is food. My relaxation is actually going out for a beautiful meal, being home by at least 8:30 in time to have a bit of sleep before the next 4 a.m. wake up.
For the elite runners, the Durban Spar race is perhaps the most important sub-marathon road race in the country. Usually run in good conditions on a flat, fast and interesting course, the event has become a virtual national championship. And this year, the arrival of a host of world-class runners from outside South Africa only added to its status. Of the 15,000 entries, about 40% are in this race, the 10-kilometre event. The remainder would take part in the 5-kilometre fun run and walk. The huge field set off running north towards the Umgeni River in perfect conditions, warm and wind-free. Betha Chikonga of Maxed Elite and Zimbabwe took an early lead. Betha won here last year and was keen to repeat her triumph. But she had to contend with 2 formidable opponents, Hilalia Johannes, 2-time winner so far in the Spar Grand Prix, and Ethiopian junior Tadu Nare, who was 2nd in Port Elizabeth and 3rd in Cape Town. Johannes and Nare soon chased down Chikonga, and the trio arrived at the Blue Lagoon together. The early pace was incredibly fast, close to 3 minutes per kilometre. Same way behind Chikonga, Nare and Johannes was Yvette van Zyl of the Nedbank Club. So far this year she has failed to finish in the top 3 of a Spar Grand Prix race, but now, after recovering from the tough Two Oceans 56 kilometre race, she was ready to improve and challenge for the podium.
Two Oceans has gone away. It's just mentally it was tough for me to get over it because it was not a great race for me what happened with me in the race, and it was mentally it just broke me because I was in better shape as actually the results I got, and just the way my legs felt afterwards broke me a bit. And I'm just happy to be done with that and move on to the shorter distances again. But I'm thinking the second half of the year I'll find my legs again and my shape and let it slowly pick up.
In front of the chasing pack was Janet Mbeshle of Umsumkulu, and with her were Patience Marawi of Nedbank, with Caroline Mahandu and Olivia Chitati, who like Chikonga were both members of the Max Delete Zimbabwe Club. 2018 Spar Grand Prix winner Glen Rose Zaba was also in that group. The leaders were now running south along the beachfront. Yvette was clearly in a better condition than in the first 2 Spar races and was still in touch with the 2 leaders. With the course record clearly in danger, this was becoming a brilliant race. Still on the beachfront, the 2 race leaders, one from Namibia, the other Ethiopia, were close to halfway in this 10-kilometre race. A long way back was 3-time Spar Grand Prix winner Yvette van Zyl, and she in turn was about 20 seconds clear of the group led by Janet Mbeshle. The folks at the back were moving slowly, most of them just walking along, and the sight of the ocean at Blue Lagoon on a beautiful winter morning was most welcome. This event has become one that thousands of Durban ladies never ever miss.
It's lovely, it's cool, it's a beautiful day,
and we've
lots
been
of
working
ladies.
colleagues for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Yes, fantastic. I love Spar race. Always will do it from now until I die. Go Spar.
Exercise, fresh air. Yeah.
And it's the best and the most beautiful race, I believe.
In the Port Elizabeth Spar Grand Prix race, Tadu Nare ran 32.37 for overall second place, and in Cape Town she ran just 20 seconds slower. Now she was heading for her 3rd straight sub-33 clocking, and she is still just 19 years old. As the leading pair ran back towards central Durban, the gap had increased significantly. It was clear that Hilaria Johannes was throwing absolutely everything she had at the race, going for an impossibly fast time, maybe even sub-31 minutes. Looking at the ages of the 2 leaders, it was interesting to note that, at 38 years of age, Johannes was exactly twice as old as Nare, and Yvette still hung on to her precious 3rd spot. At 9:30 a.m. the 5-kilometre race got underway, and soon the entire beachfront area was full of happy, cheering runners and walkers.
Just to keep us fit, that's all we can say. We're doing this for the metro ladies. All ladies like to keep fit, that's why we do it.
For my mum, because she can't do it, so I do it for her.
To be healthy. To be healthy and have fun. Team spirit. And get the goals healthy.
Awesome, I love it. I met a new friend on the way.
Betha Chikonga is one of many international Zimbabwean athletes, both men and women, who race in South Africa. Supported by local clubs, in this case Max Delete, they are often the sole financial support for their impoverished families back home.
I started when I was Form 2, 2012. I started in school until now. I broke up in 2014 when I finished school, and I welcome to South Africa. Things are not okay for that time. And then I start again because I know my running is my talent and I can't stop. My father is a welder. He worked in Harare. Now he's going to retire next year. And my mother is a village health worker. She works at the village like in aid. She helps parents that have sick. She do each and everything that she can manage to do. When I was in school, my coach told me each and every time you are an athlete, so you must keep weight, you must keep training to become a champion. Even my parents, they told me each and every time you are a champion, and you keep pushing, one day you are your success. Mr. Makaza is my first coach in 2016. I joined a club in 2016, Mr. Pace in Harare. So it's not hard for me to come here because he do everything for me to come in Mr. Price spot. And I come to Mr. Price 2016, 2017 until now.
Betha is a young lady who's very dedicated and who's want to achieve. She came to us and we try to help wherever we can as an athlete that he needs to be helped with. And she's so disciplined. She did everything the way according to his coach what is training him.
Mr. Price supports me each and every race. When I come here, they give me accommodation, transport and everything. We
do have a very, very strong team from Zim. The likes of Caroline Mandu, who is the training partner of Betha, and Olivia Chitate, also a training partner of her. They've got a group of girls, not only girls, and also boys. There's a guy that was leading Comrades, if you remember, then Comrade recently, Canisius Nyamudzita. He's also training with them also. I'm so happy to have that team because we train together in Zimbabwe and work as a team. Each and every athlete that's here from Exceed, we have a sported heart. We support each other, we train together, we do each and everything that you can do for athletics to do together. That's my friends and we compete again together.
In 2018, Betha achieved one of her dreams by winning the Spar Grand Prix race in Durban. It was a wonderful achievement by her.
Last year in Spar Ladies, I was fit. I lead from the start to finishing. It was my plan to lead from the start to finishing, and I was training hard for that race. I was running my own race. For this year, I'm so happy because I ran well. For the Spar Ladies in PE, I ran my own race and I became number 4 in the time of 34:02. And for today, I want to run my own race again. I run my own race again, and I don't chase anyone. My wish for this race is to run my personal best.
The Spar Grand Prix, it's one of the most highly rated here in South Africa. And what Spar is doing to these ladies, it's a very fantastic job. And that's why we decided as a Max team that, you know what, this year let's go all out and bring our best ladies into this. And they are helping each other. Remember that's why you'll find them all together, all the time. They are training together. And as we are now, we are leading the team prize. We will try by all means to stay like that and leading up until the end.
My dream is to run 42 kilometers. I want to qualify for Olympics 2020, and I want to support young athletes from my country to become a champions. For now, I have some of the athletes from primaries. It's Kandava Primary in Zimbabwe. I support her to start training now. The most age that I have is 7 years to 13 years. I support her from training kids. I support her from accommodation when they want to come to race, so that by the end of by 5 years they will be someone and they will be champions.
Further back in the elite field, things had changed. 2017 Spar Grand Prix winner Kesa Malatsani had moved through the field into 7th place. Last year's Grand Prix winner Glenrose Zaba looked to be back to her best form for the first time this year.
I can say that I'm feeling happy because now as South African we are coming closer to those foreigners. So they're giving us challenges that we need to train hard and believing to ourselves and be self-confident all the time.
And that confidence saw Zaba move past Janita Beshle into 4th position. But Van Zyl was too far ahead to be caught easily. The Nedbank athlete was running in a total vacuum with no one in sight ahead of her and no one close behind. This is a tough way to run, especially near the end of a race. The really big question now was this: exactly how fast would Johannes' time be at the end? But we'll have to wait a while to get to that answer as we take time to go back to the thousands of ladies making their way along the route in both the 10 and 5 kilometre races. As always in these Spar races, it was a case of fun, fitness and friendship out there.
We love it, it's the enjoyment of it.
Because I want to be fit and strong and healthy.
It's so nice. It's going very well, hey? We're enjoying ourselves and we're keeping fit, we're looking gorgeous.
But for some people, it was an opportunity to remember someone, perhaps a friend or a relative. Often we find runners doing it in memory of a loved one.
For my niece Jodie, we just lost her like 51 days today from breast cancer. And we're doing this for her. And in God's name, thank you so much.
Hilaria Johannes was now an incredible 90 seconds clear of Nauru and heading for a time close to or even under 31 minutes. Absolutely world class. In the 3 Spar races this year, she has broken the Namibian record each time, getting faster on each occasion. And remember that she also ran 2:22 for the marathon and 71:30 for the half, all in 2019. As the seconds counted down, a time of 30:59 was the result, the fastest time ever by a woman in South Africa. Amazing.
3 races, I smashed my personal best time, I smashed my national record for Namibia. This is very extraordinary. It's not that easy. It is just combination for both of focus and commit to what you are doing. I was just focused to my plan, game plan. That's why I was just running on my own but constant, because I was focusing to what I was doing. What was come over my head when I was running, it was just good people that was cheering for us in the road, and I was just get courage and confidence from the people that were cheering for us. Then I just told myself that let me just push as I can, as hard I can, so that I can do my best.
And what a brilliant best that was. But don't forget young Tadu Nare in second place. At the end, she had no chance of holding Johannes, but was still able to stay 20 seconds ahead of the first South African. 2 second places and 1/3 so far in the Spar series is outstanding. And her reward was a time of 32:36. Yvette van Zyl chose the Durban Spar to find her best form of the year and came home third in 32:57.
From the start, Ilalia was quite in control and ahead, so I was racing actually in my own race and just wanting to get bonus points. That was the goal today, and position didn't matter to me today. I just wanted to run under 33:07, and I knew it's going to take a bit of effort because my previous times weren't that fast this year. So yeah, the race wasn't kind to me. I really suffered, so yeah, I didn't have a great race. Mentally, I had to work with myself and just to cross the finish line. So yeah, I'm happy with today's results, and just running bonus points in top 3 was a bonus.
We need to remember that all of the top 10 ran superb times today. It was that sort of race. In particular, Glenrose Zaba, Grand Prix champion in 2018, was great in 4th place, 24 seconds behind Yvette. Zaba has been battling injury this year.
Today I'm just very happy to run very good and impressive time, seasonal best. That means a lot to me. I start very little bit slow because I was back to the group. Helena break us to almost 2K. So I started to go with my own pace until I reach Jeanette. So I start to keep up until I get to the finish. I was just a little bit disappointed because when I come across to the finish, I just saw the time that now I'm too late for bonus point. I just need to keep up and finish the race to be in the best position.
The fastest time ever in South Africa and a magnificent course record, sub 31 for Hilalia. Kessa in 7th place broke 34 minutes, with Janet Mbeshle coming 5th behind Glenrose. Betha Chikonga ran well again in 8th position. In total, 15 runners broke 35 minutes. Bulelwa Samaya won the over 40s, with Judy Bird back from injury in the over 50 group. Cape Townian Olga Howard was the first over 60 to finish. Johannes has the maximum possible 90 points after 3 races in the Spar Grand Prix. Tadu Nare is 4 points behind, with Yvette, Kessa and Janet also in the top 5. This was a fine event. The weather played along, the organisation was outstanding and the people loved it. For Spar, their 30th Durban race was one of the best ever.
We are very excited and proud, and obviously being the 30th today. So it's such an important sponsorship for us. So we're very excited, and we are hoping that we're going to get better and better. And with the full field of 14,700 runners, it was great. And the good thing about this race, we accommodates everybody, all fitness levels, and to see them having fun, it's such a great satisfaction from our side as a brand.
Spar celebrated its 30th race in Durban by boosting the winner's prize to 30,000 Rand. In the end, a just reward for a brilliant run. Johannes has run rampant over everyone this year and is well placed to win the Grand Prix. But we will have to wait and see if she'll be able to run 3 more Spar races given her international commitments. And the next Spar Grand Prix race is in Tshwane on the 3rd of August, so don't miss it.